Lovely. Mike, first off, is it such a short space of time again between games? How much work have you been able to do, or are you able to do any between games at the moment on the training field?
Yeah, no, not really, and unlikely to do, really. We're going to be training halfway up on our way to Sunderland today. It's something we tend to do quite often, where we get on the bus and train halfway just to break the journey up a little bit. So we'll do that today. I can assure you it won't be a lot. I'm not in the luxury of being able to sort of change the team too much. We haven't got the biggest squad, but what we will do, like I say, and I've said it after the game on New Year's Day, that we'll try and look after the players in between these games as best we possibly can.
I guess at this time, though, if you'd have had 3 defeats in a row over Christmas, it would feel like, another game on the horizon. But on back-to-back wins, the tiredness for the players, does it tend to not be as prevalent?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously, they're in a good spirit, they're in a good place. They should have good belief going into the game tomorrow. I think that it's probably in the latter parts of the game where the fitness or the tiredness will probably tell for both sides. You tend to find when you have so many games over a short period of time, it creates almost funny scorelines. So I know there's a lot of FA Cup ties this weekend as well, and a lot of teams in our league competing in the FA Cup, and I suppose that's why they had the third round about this time of year when there's been so many games. So we've just got to make sure we stay consistent and stay in a place where our performances remain similar to what they have been.
Has everybody come through unscathed from New Year's?
Yeah, we got a couple of knocks, bit sore, bruises. Yeah, I mean, obviously today's going to be a big day to get a real indication, but yesterday we had a few that led to a little bit stiff and sore.
You spoke after the game saying you were hoping to get at least one in before the weekend. Is that still the case?
Hopefully, yeah. Today obviously is an important day for us. Listen, I'm not going to get too heavily disappointed if we don't bring someone in today, but it would be nice just to see a new face or hear about a new face coming into the building over the weekend. It's obviously late in the day and we're going to be on our way up to Sunderland a little bit later, so it's not going to have too much effect on the game tomorrow. And I've got no problem, no issue saying that, but it'd be nice, while we're travelling up there or at some point over the next 24 hours to be able to announce someone. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. We've got another week before the next game, which has been a bit of a luxury over the last couple of weeks with the amount of games that we've had.
Is Zach able to play tomorrow?
I believe, I'm about 99% sure, and again I've got no problem saying that, I've got 99% sure that he will be available.
And is he someone you feel will be able to throw straight into the starting 11, or is he someone that you're going to have to break through gently?
I mean, he's not played for a bit. He's a fit lad. He's obviously a very quick, wiry type player. I'll make that call over the next 24 hours. Obviously, I'll have another look with him today, and I'll keep Sunderland waiting on that one.
In terms of the players heading out of the football club, are you expecting interest in your players in January?
There might be one or two. Yeah, I mean, obviously you've always got to prepare for that. There's definitely, the case at times where you can concentrate too much on players that you try to get into the building and take your eye off and lose a little bit of focus on potential players leaving. So daily, hourly, we're monitoring what could possibly happen. So we just got to make sure that we're prepared for that if that happens.
And how do you see this January as a whole? Because in the summer, a lot of players out of contract as well, both here and a number of other clubs. Is it a real focus on January to start building your team for next season, or is it just to get you through to the summer?
A little bit of both, if I'm being honest. Yeah, definitely a little bit of both. I think it's difficult sometimes to get permanents done in January. I do. I think if you can, then it's a great opportunity because it gives you almost 6 months to have a real good look at someone and try and mould and shape them into what you want from a team in a positional sense point of view. But I think it's just making sure that, one, we've got enough bodies between now and the end of the season. The balance of the squad's going to be important, and that's something I touched on when I first walked in. I want to improve the balance of the squad because there was far too many players in a certain position that it just didn't look right and didn't feel. So if we can improve that and address that, then between obviously now and the end of the season, making sure that we're in a position come the summer that we can make sure that we mould and sculpt a squad that's going to be hopefully competing at the top end of the division rather than the bottom end of the division.
And finally on Sunderland, last time we played them here there was unrest with the manager's position. Again there's a little bit of unrest from the supporters. Is that something you can play on tomorrow?
Well, I think obviously going there, I've been there a couple of times to watch games over the last 12 months, and clearly there's unrest. And what I would say, obviously, with someone like Phil Parkinson in charge, he's been used to that. He's been at football clubs where everything hasn't been hunky-dory and he's had to use his experience. He had a lot of that, obviously, last year with the troubles that Bolton had and dealt with it, remarkably, really. I know how he feels. I've been in that situation myself in my early part of my career. So I'd like to think that we can use that to our advantage. But what I would say as well is obviously they've got a group of players who are very experienced, and on any given day I think we know that they can beat any team in this division. They probably feel and know that they're in a bit of a false position at the minute. The season isn't over 22, 23, 24 games. It's over, I know I was going to say 46, but it's 44 this year, isn't it? So I think once we come towards the end of the season and final 5 or 6 games, I'll be very, very surprised if Sunderland are not in the mix in terms of the playoffs.
Thank you.
Well, Michael, obviously Sunderland was when you picked up your first 3 points as manager. How far do you think your side's come on since then?
It has definitely come on. There's no doubt about it. I think a word I kept using in the first couple of weeks was just being harder to be, being more resolute. I do think we've got that as a team now. I think we're slightly better as well in terms of in possession and a little bit more expansive. The players have worked really hard. I think the time where we didn't have a game, I think it could have been quite easy at that moment in time to take your sort of foot off the gas and have a little bit of a break and relax, but we almost treated it like a mini pre-season and the players worked really, really hard. And since the Burton game, obviously we've had 6 games, 4 of the games have gone for us in terms of wins, and the other 2, arguably, against 2 top teams, we probably should have got something out of the game. So there's no doubt about it, they have come on. Still want us to be better, if I'm being honest, and that's not, trying to be cheeky or wanting too much. I think the players know that we're always striving to be better, because if once we think we've cracked it, we'll get slapped in the face, and we just got to make sure that our attitude, our application, the way we approach the game is exactly the same on Saturday as it has been over the last few weeks.
Obviously there's been a managerial change at Sunderland. Do you think there's been a slight difference in style as opposed to Jack Ross?
Potentially. I mean, obviously there's been a couple of different types of formations, and I suppose the good thing that Sunderland have got is they've got a lot of bodies, so they can change the style, they can change the formation at any given time. I think if you look over, I know they had a couple of defeats recently, but the last 3 games they're unbeaten, a couple of draws and a win at Doncaster. So it's not going to be an easy game. I know people are getting caught up on the Sunderland one because they're probably the biggest club in the league. But we know how difficult that game's going to be. We're just delighted that we're in a good headspace at this moment in time. Got a few wins behind us, and obviously with the support that I've heard that are going up to Sunderland, that's obviously another exciting thing from our point of view.
Yeah, I mean, as you've just said there's a healthy back, and it must be a game that you sort of as a manager relish going up to the likes of Sunderland, a massive club in this division.
Oh yeah, listen, I can't wait for the game, to be honest with you. I'm sure the players are the same regardless of how tired they feel. We're really, really going to look forward to it, but ultimately, again, and without sounding like a boring old fart, we've got to start the game well. We've got to make sure that 20, 30 minutes into the game we're in the game, and we've not give them an opportunity to give their fans and their crowd the chance to get behind them and obviously give them a lift.
That's great.
Michael, I caught a bit of the Fleetwood-Sunderland game the other day, and Fleetwood are normally a team that dominate possession, but Sunderland had an awful lot of the ball. That's something we're going to have to be aware of going up there. They're going to have a lot of possession.
Yeah, and that don't concern me, to be fair. It don't concern me in the slightest little bit. I think the players now are comfortable doing both parts of the game. I think when I first come in, it was very much defending with a low block or defending a little bit deeper, however you want to say it. But I think we can cope both ways. I think we're adaptable in terms of we can be a counter-attacking team away from home if we need to be, and if we need to be a little bit more possession-based. I think the group are quite relaxed about that, and I certainly am. It's just making sure we've got the right personnel on the pitch to affect them. And if they have a lot of ball tomorrow, so be it. I'm quite relaxed about that. It's just what we do when we get it. If we make the right decisions on the counter, on the transition, hopefully we can give them a few problems.
And have you been happy with the consistency in the pattern of play, the Ipswich game, the Peterborough game? There did seem to be kind of consistency there with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously on a difficult pitch as well. It's difficult. I think Peterborough and Ipswich found it as well. So I'm just happy that the lads just kept doing it, and they didn't get too down or disappointed. We made a couple of errors that cost us. But even on the back of that, they were still had the confidence to keep doing it and doing the same things, and they got the rewards. And even before George scored the wonderful goal he scored on Wednesday, it was coming. It was 100% coming, and you could argue that they were down to 10 men, but even at 11 men, we were the team on top. And I think even Darren alluded to that as well after the game.
Given that it's only a fourth ever visit to Sunderland, 60 years virtually since we went, so it's an exciting adventure for all the travelling faithful tomorrow. What will you message have you got for the lads, who's obviously this squad have been the biggest gate they've played in front of, and for the travelling faithful, so you become the first ever Imps manager to get the double over Sunderland? What's the message?
Well, it won't be about me, Chris, I can assure you that. It won't be about me. But no, I think it's important to always remind the players of the support that they're getting. It's not easy. It's an expensive time of the year, the amount of games that we've had over this period, and we are grateful, obviously, for everyone that's going to be going up to Sunderland. So there will be a reminder that, yes, it's a big game. Yes, it's another chance to pick up 3 points, but they know that they're going to have support and backing behind them. And we want to make it. We want to have loads of memorable days over the next few years, while I'm here as a manager, and hopefully that we can produce one of them on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, fellas.
Well, Harry, heading up to Sunderland this weekend, is it a game that really excites players, or does it you just see it as another game?
I think you can get a little bit excited about it because obviously it's a big stadium and lovely pitch, and it'd be lovely to play there. I've never played there myself, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully we can go there and get a good result. It's
been a great couple of games for Lincoln, great couple of results against two of the best sides in the division. What do you think's changed? What do you think it is about the last couple of weeks that seems to have clicked for Lincoln?
I just feel like we're maybe now getting on the right side of the result. A few things have gone our way, and I just feel like we seem to be like playing a lot more like football wise, in the sense even though sometimes it's hard with our pitch here, we try and get on the ball as much as we can and try and play out from the back.
Yeah, and have you found yourself benefiting as someone who likes to get the ball down and run at defenders? Are you finding that this new way of playing is benefiting your game?
Yeah, definitely. You obviously prefer to receive the ball to your feet rather than from a goal kick in the air. So yeah, definitely it probably helps me a lot.
Now you talked about the pitch and the manager's mentioned the pitch. Just explain how difficult it is at the moment.
I mean, from the stand it actually looks really good, but honestly it's very difficult. You have to really concentrate on like your touch, on your first touch, and sometimes when it comes at you, you don't really know where it's going to land. But it doesn't really look like that from up above. But when we go out there, if you notice, we start doing a little bit on the balls beforehand, so you can try and get used to the pitch.
And that must be really difficult, isn't it? Because as you say, you're having to add that extra bit of concentration in that if a pass is coming towards you or you think it's coming towards you, you don't know if it's going to bobble up just before and you'll be the one who looks like a fool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And sometimes rather than doing it in two, you might need the extra one to try and settle it down, so it can slow things down as well sometimes.
For yourself, after Bruno's injury, you've got yourself back into the 11 and have retained your place there. What's the manager said to you about how you've been doing personally?
When I was first here, I feel like he gave me a few things that I needed to work on, and I feel like I've done that now, and now hopefully I can try and keep my place in the team and keep doing well and try and get results.
And do you feel happy with how you're playing?
Yeah, really pleased. Playing slightly differently, coming inside and trying to get on the ball, which I feel like I'm starting to get the hang of now, and it's good to be able to play in lots of different ways.
And you've had a different type of striker up there to aim for this year in Tyler, someone who always seems to find the back of the net, give him one chance, he'll put it away. What's that like, having someone like that to aim for rather than a target man like you've had with Reedy and John previously?
It's good. Ty's finishing is unbelievable. Even in training, as soon as he gets the ball, you sort of know it's going in the back of the net. So sometimes you can maybe put a flash runs across the front of the goal, which maybe you might get on the end of. So it's a slightly different crossing, but obviously when John's on as well, he's quite good in the air and stuff. So
lovely. That's great, mate. Thank you. Top cheers.
Harry, how was it going up against your old Peterborough team the other day?
It's good. It's always good to play against Peterborough. Obviously started there, and it was good to obviously get on the right side of the result, as we didn't get the result at their place, but we stuck in and got the result the other day.
It was noticeable. I know they went down to 10 men, but as the manager alluded to, we really were on top that last half an hour of the game, and you lads really did keep going. I mean, there was a couple of very near opportunities that didn't go in, but it was a case of really going to that 90th minute to get the winner.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think now we're going right to the end of the game and not giving up on things, and we know now that we can, with say scenarios like on the other day, obviously getting the free kick at the end and going right to the last whistle of the game, and we can then try and get results.
I mean, do you think this will be one of the, going back to Saturday, one of the biggest games you've played, or is it just another 3 points?
Obviously it is a big experience, but obviously we're going there with the full intention of winning the game, hopefully.
You're sneaking goals again, Harry. That was the corner move at Burton, and then you've scored through the middle. Have you set yourself a target for goals this year? even if you want to keep it secret, have you got a target or has the manager
Oh,
given you
to be
one?
fair, I say it for last year as well. I said that I'd like to get to 10,
Yeah,
and hopefully this season I can do that.
thank
Very
you.
much.